Hello friends, we have with us today Major General Rajiv Narayanan. He is Ati Vishish Seva Medal and an Army veteran. Major General Rajiv Narayanan was commissioned in December 1978 in the Armored Corps and retired after over 37 years of distinguished service on 29 February 2016 from the Directorate of Military Operations. An alumni of DSSC Wellington and DSCSC Mirpur, Dhaka, he has seen extensive service along India's both western and northern borders. He has had the opportunity to serve as the Defense Attaché in the Embassy of India at Dushanbe, Tajikistan during the turbulent period post 9/11 from October 2003 to March 2007. His areas of interest include China, the greater Indo-Pacific region, geopolitics, and force strategies, modernization, and capability development. He has spoken on these topics in many seminars and webinars around the world, and he has a vast number of articles that have been published, monograph papers published in Indian journals and magazines. Rajiv Narayanan is a distinguished veteran, and today we are fortunate that we have with us the Army General, the veteran, to discuss with us a theme which should be close to our heart, a theme which should be of interest for everybody, not only in India, in the Indian subcontinent, in Asia, Southeast Asia, but across the world. The topic is Bharat and the evolving global order. Welcome, General Rajiv Narayanan. We are very glad to have you with us, and we would like to have your views on where India stands today vis-a-vis global order.
थैंक यू वेरी मच शास्त्री जी. जो सुन रहे हैं उनको बता दूं, वी गो बैक अ वेरी लॉन्ग वे and it is nice to be here on your platform talking on this very important issue like you mentioned, Bharat and the evolving global order. भी जैसे आपके पीछे जो मैप है, अगर लोग उसको देख लें तो समझ जाएंगे कि एक तो यूक्रेन में लड़ाई चल रही है और दूसरा गाजा में लड़ाई चल रही है. ये दोनों का बहुत ही ज़्यादा महत्व और इम्पैक्ट हुआ है पूरे ग्लोब में, और ग्लोबल साउथ में तो बहुत ज़्यादा इफेक्ट हो गया है. लोगों को पता नहीं होगा कि यूक्रेन और रशिया ग्लोबल साउथ के ग्रैनरी हैं. वहाँ से काफ़ी उनको खाने का पदार्थ आता है और फर्टिलाइज़र वगैरह आता है, वो सारा रुक गया है. और वेस्ट एशिया में लड़ाई होते ही क्या हुआ है कि तेल के प्राइसेस बढ़ गए. तो आज की तारीख में दुनिया भर के सब तरफ इकोनॉमी नीचे जा रहे हैं. केवल एक उभरता सितारा है, वो है भारत. इसीलिए IMF और वर्ल्ड बैंक कहते हैं कि भारत ही एक राष्ट्र है जिसके इकोनॉमी पर पूरी संसार कायम है.
Okay.
And this indicates a perceptible shift center of gravity of international trade and economy into, that is why वो नाम आया था इंडो पैसिफिक, नहीं तो पहले एशिया पैसिफिक था. इंडो पैसिफिक आया था भारत के कारण. इसमें एक लाइन और जोड़ता हूं मैं, जितने भी देश ये डेवलप हुए हैं, वेस्टर्न यूरोप ले लो, ईस्टर्न एशिया में देशों को ले लो, आसियान में देश भी आए थे, एशियन टाइगर्स बन के निकले थे, ये सारे एडेड इकोनॉमी. इनको US और वेस्ट से मदद मिला था, मार्केट्स को प्रोटेक्ट किया था. हमें इसके विपरीत फॉर्मल और इनफॉर्मल सैंक्शंस का सामना करना पड़ा है, और इसके बावजूद हमारी इकोनॉमी बढ़ रही है. इसीलिए US और बाकी जो देश हैं आज के तारीख में ग्लोबल नॉर्थ, वो यानी कैच 22 में है. आप चाहिए उनके लिए, तभी आप उनके इकोनॉमी ग्रो होगा, और आपसे डरते हैं क्योंकि बगैर उनके मदद के आप ग्रो कर रहे हैं। तो इस लिहाज से एक पहले देखते हैं अपने अगल बगल नेबरहुड में क्या हो रहा है और किस तरह से आप देखिए आपके चारों तरफ इम्बैलेंस करना चाहते हैं
Before
ताकि आपके
General Rajiv,
स्ट्रेटेजिक इकोनॉमी को हिट हो।
General Rajiv, a small intervention. Before we turn
Yeah.
to the before we turn to the neighborhood, you just now said,
Okay.
ये बाकी जितनी इकोनॉमीज हैं ये यूएस और यूरोप और इन सब की मदद से आगे बढ़ी, वेयर एज इंडिया की इकोनॉमी ये इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ ऑल दीज फैक्टर्स। तो ये स्टेज कब आई? व्हेन वाज द टर्निंग पॉइंट व्हेन इंडिया वाज एब्सोल्युटली इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ द इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ?
ये चलता आ रहा था, लेकिन मेरे हिसाब से 2014 के बाद ये स्थिति हुई है।
ओके।
उस वक्त यानी आप ले लीजिए 2000 से 2014 यानी 1992 में हमने इकोनॉमी खोला था और 2014 तक वो कभी हाँ कभी ना, कभी हाँ कभी ना की स्थिति होती थी। कभी आप बोलते थे कि हाँ हम करेंगे, फिर नहीं, फिर उनसे ले लेंगे। 2014 के बाद ये स्थिति आ गई कि फर्मली कि नहीं, हमने अपने दम पे उठना है, जिसने भी हमारे साथ चलना है आप आइए, यहाँ पे आइए और यहाँ पे बनाइए और हम साथ चलेंगे। और हमारे साइंटिस्ट भी हैं, आजकल मैं प्रोफेसर ऑफ प्रैक्टिस हूँ आईआईटी में, अमेजिंग सपोर्ट उनको मिलता है अपने अपने आइडियाज को जर्मिनेट करने का, इंक्यूबेट करने का, स्टार्टअप्स हैं और उसके बाद फिर उसको फील्ड करने के लिए। जैसे अपना खुद का जो मोबाइल ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है, ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम इंडिया ने अपना खुद का बनाया है कि जब अपना हैंडसेट आ जाएगा तो वो उस पर चलेगा। उसका नाम भरोस है, भारत ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम, भर ओएस। वो यहाँ आईआईटी चेन्नई में बना है। जो हमने ओपन रैन सिस्टम बना के अपना 5G रोल आउट किया है। ओपन रैन मतलब आप कहीं से भी लेके आ जाइए, इस सॉफ्टवेयर के साथ सारे मेश और आपस में बात करके काम करेंगे। आप इक्विपमेंट कहीं से भी ला सकते हैं। ये ओपन रैन अगेन यहीं पे आईआईटी चेन्नई में बना है। इसी तरह से आप देखेंगे आईआईटी कानपुर, आईआईटी रूरकेला, खड़गपुर, दिल्ली, बॉम्बे, सब अन्य टेक्निकल इंस्टीट्यूशंस आज अपने अपने जगह माहिर हो गए हैं। हम ड्रोन्स की बात करते हैं, एंटी ड्रोन सिस्टम की बात करते हैं। वर्चुअली जितने भी अभी फौज में आपको ड्रोन सिस्टम और एंटी ड्रोन सिस्टम मिल रहे हैं, सारे होम ग्रोन है। स्वॉर्म ड्रोन्स भी होम ग्रोन है।
ओके। And what about space? The strides we have made in space.
बिल्कुल, आप देख लो स्पेस, मंगलयान
and the radar
मंगलयान आप गए, अभी आपका आदित्य L1 पे जाके खड़ा हो गया है सूरज के पास, and at 1/10 the cost of what NASA and all are doing.
Okay.
And everything homegrown. नहीं, जो फील्ड मैंने बताए हैं, ऐसे आप कोई भी फील्ड खोल के देख लीजिए। आप अपने दम पर आप कर रहे हैं। तो इसीलिए बाकी लोग सोचते हैं कि यार हाथ मिलाना पड़ेगा, और हाथ मिलाएंगे नहीं तो हमारी इकोनॉमी गई, मिला लेंगे तो ये और ताकतवर हो जाएगा। क्योंकि यही ताकत देता है हमारे स्टील रिजॉल्व विच इज स्ट्रेटेजिक इकोनॉमी।
ओके।
क्योंकि स्ट्रेटेजिक इकोनॉमी तभी आप कर सकते हो जब आप दब नहीं सकते।
ओके, सो द ऑटोमेटिक कोरोलरी टू दिस इज कि हम जितने भी अपनी इकोनॉमी हमारी सेल्फ रिलायंट हम हो गए हैं, हर दृष्टि से हो रहे हैं, तो हमारी जो फॉरेन पॉलिसी है, हमारी जो डिफेंस पॉलिसी है, हमारी जो स्ट्रैटेजी रिलेटेड जितनी भी वीज़ा-वी इंटरनेशनल अफेयर्स, तो ये सब बहुत आई थिंक स्ट्रेंथन हुई हैं गिवन द इकोनॉमी।
यही ताकत देता है।
ओके,
द रेजिलियंस ऑफ द पीपल ऑफ भारत, कि भाई जिन्होंने अपने हाथ में बीड़ा ले लिया है और सब तरफ से उनको सपोर्ट मिल रहा है कि हमने आत्मनिर्भर होना है, सब कुछ हमने साथ करना है। दैट इज व्हाट गिव्स द स्ट्रेंथ फॉर योर डिप्लोमेसी एंड टू द मिलिट्री।
So I would be apologetic about it. मैंने आपको डिफ्लेक्ट किया. You were turning your everybody's attention to the neighborhood. हमारे आस पड़ोस में क्या हो रहा है?
उसी तरह से अभी नहीं, it's good that you took me there to explain, क्योंकि ये डर है, इसीलिए आप देख रहे हो कि आपके इर्द गिर्द वो इंस्टेबिलिटी लाने की कोशिश करते हैं। और सबसे पहले मैं लेता हूं अफगानिस्तान वो छोड़ के चले गए। उम्मीद किया था इन्होंने कि पाकिस्तान के साथ मिलके वो इंडिया को तंग करेंगे, लेकिन उम्मीद से विपरीत, क्योंकि ये जो टेरर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस होते हैं दे आर लाइक फिश, और जो पब्लिक होता है दे आर दी वाटर।
ओके,
अच्छा,
ये
हमने
एनालॉजी
क्या
आपने,
किया है,
ये
जितना
अच्छी
भी हमारा अप्रोच
ये एक अच्छी एनालॉजी
अफगानिस्तान में
ड्रॉ,
था,
या ओके,
थैंक यू, वो यही है कि अगर उनको लोकल सपोर्ट नहीं मिलेगा, कांट सर्वाइव। एज यू सी व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन द नॉर्थ ऑफ द वैली इन JNK।
ओके,
अभी पीर पंजाल के साउथ में है, जहां पे अभी वो सर्वशक्ति एक्सरसाइज ऑपरेशन चल रहा है उनको निकालने के लिए, लेकिन वैली के अंदर तो अभी तकरीबन खत्म ही हो गया है, बिकॉज लोकल सपोर्ट नहीं है। सो अफगानिस्तान डिडंट सपोर्ट देम। पाकिस्तान इकोनॉमी हैज गॉन टोटली डाउन द ड्रेन। दो चीजों से, वैसे भी उनकी कोई इकोनॉमी नहीं थी, वो तो लोन ले लेके सरवाइव कर रहे थे, लाइक अ क्रेडिट कार्ड, कि भाई एक बैंक से क्रेडिट कार्ड ले लिया, वहां लिमिट खत्म हो गया तो दूसरे बैंक से ले लिया क्रेडिट कार्ड और आगे चलते रहो।
General Rajiv, from an aviator's point of view, the Pakistani economy and polity,
हाँ,
has it gone in for a stall or a nosedive?
पार्डन?
Has it stalled or has it gone in for a nosedive, or any possibility that it can?
It had always stalled. It was
Okay.
surviving. It had never even risen up. It
Okay.
was surviving on doles and grants.
Okay.
पहले यूएस के पाले में थे, सारे डोल्स एंड ग्रांट्स उनको मिलते थे। उनके अंदर अगर आप पाकिस्तान के अंदर देख लो, ऐसा कोई चीज नहीं बनाया था एट द मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक लेवल दैट इट कैन सर्वाइव एनी शॉक्स।
Okay.
अमेरिका से कम होने लगा तो चाइना से हाथ मिलाने लगे। अब दोनों तरफ से बंद हो गया है तो द इकोनॉमी हैज गॉन डाउन एंड दे डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू। तो इसीलिए वो भाग के जाता है दूसरे साइड कि भाई मैं कुछ कर दूं आपके लिए। तो चीन को छोड़ के अभी यूएस के पास गए थे आसिफ मुनीर। बट उनका जो केवल एक ही मुद्दा है इंडिया को तंग करने के लिए कि यूज द टेरर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, और वो इस्तेमाल करने की कोशिश कर रहा है। पहले ज्यादा था क्योंकि ड्रग मनी आता था। जब से तालिबान ने सारे पॉपी फील्ड्स जला दिए हैं अफगानिस्तान में, अब उसके पास वो ड्रग मनी आना भी कम हो गया है। सो ही इज सर्वाइविंग ओनली ऑन दी ब्लैक ऑयल मार्केट विच इज थ्राइविंग। सो थोड़ा वहां पे डावाडोल है, एंड उसको साथ ही ईरान से ले लेते हैं।
हाँ.
उसकी तो अब तू मैं अब ईरान से भी हो गई है। ईरान ने रॉकेट फायर कर दिए, इसने भी एयर स्ट्राइक्स कर दिए।
Now, when we talk of Iran and Pakistan, the common factor is terrorism. Besides, what are the grounds on the at the economic level that
No, economic level there is nothing. There's a big deep divide because of the Shia Sunni divide.
Okay.
It's a deep Shia Sunni divide. It doesn't change overnight. Like I'll give an example. बहुत बड़ा शोर शराबा किया था इन्होंने कि जब इजिप्ट अपने सऊदी अरेबिया और ईरान का समझौता कराया था चाइना ने, क्योंकि उन्होंने अपने अपने एम्बेसीज बंद कर दिए थे कि हाँ खोल देंगे। वो तो अप्रैल के, अब तो फरवरी आ गया, अभी तक कहाँ खुला है? कुछ नहीं खुला है। अपने अपने एम्बेसडर का नाम तक नहीं दिया है। बट बिसाइड्स दैट पॉइंट, प्रॉब्लम इज दैट पाकिस्तान हैज नाउ कॉट इन अ बाइंड। अभी तक तो उसके पास केवल इंडिया का फ्रंट होता था, फिर एक इंटरनल फ्रंट शुरू हुआ। फिर जैसे ही 2021 में तालिबान आ गए, उन्होंने तो बोल दिया था ब्रेकिंग शैकल्स ऑफ स्लेवरी, लेकिन अब तालिबान उनके साथ लड़ रहा है। खैबर पख्तूनख्वा तो उनके हाथ से निकल गई है। और अब आई फील इट इज एट द बिहेस्ट ऑफ द यूएस। नाउ दे ओपनड अ फ्रंट विद ईरान आल्सो। तो यू हैव ईरान, यू हैव अफगानिस्तान, यू हैव इंडिया जो उन्होंने खुद खोला हुआ है, और खुद ही अपने सारे टेररिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के साथ उलझ रहे हैं। उनको समझ नहीं आ रहा कैसे सॉर्ट आउट करें। खैबर पख्तूनख्वा और बलूचिस्तान तो तकरीबन उनके हाथ से चला गया है, और पंजाब और सिंध में भी उनको समझ नहीं आ रहा है क्या करें। नेपाल एक है जहां पे चीन ने काफ़ी पॉलिटिकल लेवल पे काफ़ी गेन्स किए थे, वो सारा कुछ ख़त्म हो गया है अभी। and they are finding it a problem, and the people हाथ डालता है. The problem is that वो सारा aid जो देता है, it's not an aid, it's loan, commercial rates.
Yeah.
Number two, the labor and the material come from China, and then it delays it, and there are cost overruns. There
Okay.
are enormous cost overruns in every project that he has taken in apna Nepal. And Nepal is not a country where it can repay such heavy loans. And the people have become very angry that ओली जी had brought it in that हमें jobs मिलेंगे. Jobs तो कुछ मिला ही नहीं.
Right.
And you just imagine if people are ready to go as mercenaries on both sides, to Ukraine and to Russia also, to fight. It speaks volumes about the society that you don't have any work. And there is a big groundswell starting in Nepal that we two things. A, they want the monarchy back, and two, they want the constitution amended to state that it is a Hindu Rashtra.
No, just a minute. Rajiv,
Yeah,
who is going to show
yeah.
mercenary to these mercenaries fighting in Ukraine for Ukraine against Russia? I was just reading New York Times 2 days ago. They had a photograph, and the caption under the photograph was that this Ukrainian fighter is only about 500 meters from the Russian forces, who are on a total offensive, and one doesn't know how soon this war is going to end at the present pace, with all American and the European arms aid almost drying up at the moment. So, what do you think is going to be the fate of the Ukraine-Russia war? How long it's going to last? And then I would like to.
I have always felt that when Jaishankar ji had gone there,
Right.
and even he has been to Iran, and when he was in Iran, Modi ji had a long chat with Mr. Putin.
Yeah.
Sometime towards the middle or later half of this year, you might find a ceasefire,
Okay.
because war fatigue has set in as far as Europe is concerned. And one by one, the nationalist governments are coming there. Italy, Greece, Finland, already the nationalist governments have come in, whom the woke leftists call as extreme rights. They are
Talking of
nationalists and they have said nation first.
Rajiv, you are talking of the nationalist governments coming in Europe, and
Yeah, and
what we have had earlier was governments, so-called leftists, liberals, and whatnot, and they really opened the floodgates for immigrants.
correct.
I recall, I was a few months ago, I was in Europe, and a chance to visit Venice, where in the city center, the spots where the tourists get attracted. See, all the entire market, the salesmen, they appeared very Indian, and when I talked to them and asked them, they said they are from Bangladesh. And North Italy, in the Alps, in a small town with about 2,000 population, Tolmezzo, there in the flea market on a holiday, every shop, again, the shopkeeper was looking very much Indian, and when I asked them, they said they are from Bangladesh. And when I checked up from the Italian people who matter there, they said, well, you know, a lot of infrastructure work, and our young generation doesn't come forward to work, and we need the workforce, so we are getting these, we are settling these migrants here, and so on. The other day on Facebook, a friend of mine who's touring Europe, he said he was in Spain, and in a particular city, he said every shopkeeper was an Indian. So I could make out, I was very sure that he must not have gone and talked to them, because I would bet on that they too would be from Bangladesh. You go to Bangalore, you visit anyone, there's a housemate, some domestic help, and you ask where you are from, they would look very much Bengali, and in two particular cases, I came across persons who said that they are from Bangladesh. They are settlers in Bangalore. Now, this is a keyhole view of a situation from Bangalore to Barcelona. You have a trend where the Bangladeshis have not only spread, they have, I would say, Europe, in future is going to
Yeah,
face a tough
that
time.
I was coming to later for our internal issues, where I would be touching on these problems that we have.
Yeah.
But the Europeans have a big problem, no? Because they are really don't know what to do now, because
Yeah.
their economy has gone on a tailspin.
Because after this,
Absolutely.
I would like you to zoom in on the problem of I would say the Islamist and terrorism, Hamas,
Yeah.
the Houthis,
So the
the
next is Bhutan.
yeah,
Bhutan, chalo, is okay, though the parliament once in a while tries to lean towards China, but you normally find that it is the king who matters, and the king's relations with us are very clear.
okay,
So whenever the Chinese come and talk to them, he first comes and discusses with us
right,
at the cabinet and then goes back. Bangladesh, you noticed how Americans tried their level best for a regime change.
right,
But then Khaleda Zia refused, and BNP didn't participate. Even then, when the Americans are putting pressure, that means I call them the old deep state, for
right,
the Islamists to gain power.
right.
That's a matter of concern that you are okay with Islamists taking power out there. But well, God was kind and Khaleda Zia has won. Myanmar is a very interesting case. North Myanmar has never been in control of the Myanmarese armed forces, which is called Tatmadaw, and it was managed by the Chinese, and the weapons and all coming into Northeast used to come from there. Today, what has happened is whenever North Myanmar was in a boil, he would do it through Bangladesh when BNP used to be in power. Now he doesn't have Bangladesh, and now he doesn't have North Myanmar, and even Rakhine State he doesn't have. And
Exactly.
so suddenly you notice that he's lost his hold on Myanmar. And Sri Lanka, of course, is on a balance at the moment. Maldives, we have to wait and see how much the people of Maldives will accept what Moizu is doing,
But I think,
because they have
but I
seen what
think,
happened when.
but I think India can catch Maldives' tail from the point of view of Maldivian economy.
Yeah, it's totally dependent on us for food, not only tourism, I would say for food grains
Yeah,
and even for medical. And it is the tourist and hotel business class, their association, the medical association, and the traders association who are up in arms against
right,
Moizu,
right, right.
that China cannot provide you these things, and these things come from India. And even today, there's a whole lot of people who are here getting medical services in India.
तो राजीव, जब हम चाइना की बात करते हैं मॉलदीव्स को लेकर के, तो
हाँ जी,
चाइना का जो स्ट्रैटेजिक इंटरेस्ट यहाँ डेवलप हो रहा था फ्रॉम
हाँ।
मॉलदीव्स टू
चाइना का
श्रीलंका
बेसिकली
टू
बिगेस्ट इंटरेस्ट ये है, जैसे हमारे दो फ्लीट हैं, उसी तरह से यूएस के दो कमांड हैं दोनों फ्लैंक में. उसका सेंट्रल कमांड का फिफ्थ फ्लीट इज सिटिंग इन बहरीन, एंड इंडो पैकॉम का सेवेंथ फ्लीट इज सिटिंग इन गुआम. हमारे पास ईस्टर्न फ्लीट है विच इज सिटिंग इन विशाखापट्टनम, एंड वेस्टर्न फ्लीट है विच इज अलोंग द वेस्टर्न कोस्ट, बॉम्बे एंड कारवाड़. Now, if you have to fight a battle in the Indian Ocean, if you look carefully at Maldives and Sri Lanka and draw the line down, if you control Maldives and Sri Lanka and have your bases there, then you deny the Indian Navy and the American Navy a direct cutting across at a level closer to the Indian coast. You have to go all the way down towards Digo Garcia, Mauritius, के वहां से जाके आपको घूम के आना पड़ता है.
राइट.
So, in the maritime domain, that is the key that they are looking for. But it is not feasible. Their navy is still a blue water navy.
राइट.
Their aircraft carriers are not functional. नंबर 2 एयरक्राफ्ट कैरियर उनका जब से बना है वो दालियान डॉक्स में ही होता है, दिखाने के लिए 2-3 दिन के लिए बाहर आता है और फिर डॉक्स में होता है. अप्रैल में आया था टू डू दी आइसोलेशन ऑफ ताइवान, वो खत्म होते ही 3 दिन के लिए गया था और तब से वो दालियान में ही है. जब वहां के डीए लोग पूछते हैं उनसे क्या कर रहा है वो, भाई अपग्रेड के लिए हो रहा है। अरे यार 2020 में ही तो दिया था आपने, उसके
Okay.
बाद तो वो चला ही नहीं है सी पे। Unless you operate with that, operate with, and when he went there was no carrier battle group which was there. He
So
went
how,
with one big destroyer, one small destroyer, and a small logistic ship. That is not a carrier battle group. You can't be isolating and keeping your battle carrier on the other side like this.
no,
It's
Rajiv,
a prime target.
now how do you compare India's advantageous situation with our mainland going deep, touching almost Sri Lanka, and you have your navy backed by the air force?
That is why it is known as Indian Ocean.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
dominates the Indian Ocean.
yeah, yeah. So those
Okay. And
that
you have
you,
very good relations now with Madagascar, Mauritius,
yes,
Seychelles,
yes,
and Indonesia. So the lower
perfect,
portion you have caught.
yeah,
Now, Sri Lanka is at the moment with you, and it won't take time. I think Muizu may not last that long, and you might find a because they're just waiting for the parliament to function, and a no confidence motion is being tabled.
okay,
And Yamin has broken away from him and formed a separate party.
okay,
So Yamin is not going to vote for him. The other two parties who had not joined together, if they had joined together, one of them would have won
right,
essentially on who should be the president. But now, in the no confidence motion, there are indicators that those two will vote together, and Yamin may either vote or abstain. So
okay,
now सिचुएशन थोड़ा उसका डावाडोल लग रहा है, क्या करेगा। बट वेन ही से सी 15, मैं मार्च को बोल रहा हूँ, आई हैव नॉट रेड द स्टेटमेंट, बट द स्टेटमेंट गिवन आउट बाय द मालदीव्स foreign ministry and our external affairs ministry, there is no date given. Maldives says earliest, and we have said we will negotiate and come out at a suitable time.
it's
So
more
these
important.
are the differences that are there.
Okay,
हमारे चैनलों में चला हुआ है 15th
fifth,
15th
yeah,
करके,
yeah.
मैंने
Now,
कहीं लिखित ऑफिशियली देखा नहीं है।
okay. So now from closer or focus to West Asia and the
या
problem
no,
spots.
उसके पहले तो एलिफेंट इन द रूम हमारे साउथ एशिया में तो चाइना है।
Okay. Oh yes. Oh
मैं तो
yes.
उसको यही किल करने वाला हूँ, क्योंकि दैट इज द एलिफेंट इन द रूम,
Okay.
एंड वी मस्ट टॉक अबाउट इट एंड किल इट हियर। यू सी,
So let's talk brass tacks now on China
या शी जिनपिंग इज एट हिज वीकेस्ट एट
at the
द प्रेजेंट
weakest.
मोमेंट।
Okay.
ले वीकेस्ट है,
Can
उसने
you tell me
अपना
can you tell me
तीसरा,
how do you reach this conclusion?
yeah, I reached this conclusion because the PLA is not on the same page with him. See how many purges he's been doing.
Right.
Number two, within the hierarchy also. Earlier he was purging and throwing out people who were against him.
People
Now
like
he is purging and
people like
like Sun Chunwan
okay.
and others.
Okay.
They were all not with him.
Okay.
उनको सबको पर्च करते गया था। रिटायर्ड तो जूकाई हाउ एंड
Okay.
Go
Right.
Bojong, who were ex vice CMCs, they were not with him because they were the Jiang Zemin clique. उन
Right.
सबको इसने सॉर्ट आउट कर दिया।
Okay.
अब अपने चुनिंदे बंदों को लेके आ रहा है, सॉर्ट आउट नहीं कर रहा है, मार भी दे रहा है।
Right.
चिनगांग को तो मार दिया,
हाँ हाँ.
वो तो आपका चहेता था। ली शांगफू जिसको लेके आए आप डिफेंस मिनिस्टर, आपका बंदा था। रॉकेट फोर्स में जिन जिन को रखा था वो तो आपके बंदे थे। स्ट्रेटेजिक सपोर्ट फोर्स का कमांडर और डिप्टी कमांडर जो लेके आए थे आप, वो आपके बंदे थे, आपने चुन के लाके, अब उन सबको आपने सैक किया।
Right.
which is indicator that he is not comfortable. His economy is gone down the drain, totally down the drain.
And what about
I
PLA?
don't know how.
And what
You
about
see,
PL? What about PLA?
PLA is not on the same page with him
Okay.
because last month it stayed there in the PLA daily for 5 days and it was taken off. Now PLA daily is
And
controlled by CMC.
and according to you, what is the strength and weakness of PLA on its own? Minus
PLA has hardly any strength. That is not the way he fights. I've written a book on this. It's called Dragon's Bite, which says that his method of fighting is subversion. He will subvert and destroy the country from inside, and then even if the PLA is average, they will come and take over that country.
Okay.
And his war zone campaign also hints towards that, जो टंग शाओपिंग ने बनाया था war zone campaign,
तो
that
इंडिया
strong regional powers को वो defeat नहीं कर सकता.
तो इंडिया के संदर्भ में अगर इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ इंडिया, तो चाइना क्या कर रहा था इंडिया के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में जो सबवर्जन की आपने
इंडिया के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में इंटरनली आप देख लीजिए ना, आपके पिछले गवर्नमेंट ने तो पार्टी ने साइन कर दिया था उनके साथ एग्रीमेंट सीपीसी के साथ 2008 में.
I was going to draw you to this. तो इसका जो लार्जर पर्सपेक्टिव क्या है, मतलब कहाँ
गिवन इट अवे.
नहीं, तो ये तो एक पॉइंट बताया, इसकी जो दीमक फैल रही थी वो तो बताइए किस किस दिशा में ये लोग काम कर रहे थे इंडिया में, चाइना वाले. एंड आई थिंक
आपके हर आपके जेएनयू को देख लो.
ओके.
आपके थिंक टैंक्स को जो फंडिंग जाते थे, यहाँ पे मैं चेन्नई में बैठा हूँ, हिंदू पूरा खरीदा हुआ है.
राइट.
उसको तो दिखता ही नहीं है.
सो इंसिडेंटली
अभी थोड़ा हट रहा है. हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स भी था.
राजीव, इंसिडेंटली आई हैव बीन इन जेएनयू एंड आई हैव बीन विद द हिंदू and I concur with you. Okay.
It is amazing the kind of money that was thrown around. आपके अभी तो we have revived our solar business. Otherwise तो पिछले गवर्नमेंट ने तो खत्म कर दिया था. वहां से लेके उसने डंपिंग करना शुरू कर दिया था.
Okay.
You are destroying your own business. Right. Now you are trying to revive that and bringing in clauses so that your business is not affected.
Okay.
No, this is what he does. He calls it a comprehensive national power. Your economy, everything, देश को अंदर से खोखला कर देगा. So even if his military is not strong, it doesn't make a difference. Now, you can't fight a modern war with 40% conscripts.
So, one small interjection. Can you pinpoint 1, 2, 3, 4 the enemies, or you call them the agents of China, who have been working in India?
The agents of China are all these so-called leftists and socialist political parties.
Okay.
To put it bluntly.
Okay.
All of them.
I think that
उनको पैसे वहां से आते हैं.
Yeah. That hits the nail on
the
head.
You have your think tanks.
Yeah.
You have your think tanks.
Yeah.
When you look at it, like CPR का बंद किया, रो रहे हैं. Yeah. They were getting a lot of funding from China also.
Now is this unidirectional between China and India, or this whole
it comes from the leftist organizations outside also. George Soros.
And they spread all the way up to United States in the universities there.
George Soros.
Yes.
Open Society Forum. He used to be the kingpin.
So the big brand newspapers in New York, Washington, and
Washington Post, New York Times, CNN.
Yes.
सारे खरीदे हुए हैं इन्होंने.
Okay.
China has bought into Hollywood.
Right.
The socialists use the plays, theatre plays and movies to spread their messaging. So if you look at your movie, if you look at Bollywood.
So have we chained the elephant in the room?
Yes, you have. You have to a certain extent. There's still work to be done.
Okay.
Now, usme, in his third term, his biggest bad news to Xi Jinping is the China's dream has died even before he could start dreaming. The death of his dream, क्योंकि वो जल्दबाजी कर गया था. और जो सीरीज ऑफ बैड न्यूज उसको मिल रहे हैं एशिया से 7, यूरोप से 4, साउथ अमेरिका से 2 और अमेरिका से 5 मिल गए अभी तक पिछले 2 साल जब से वो कुर्सी पे आया है. एशिया का सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है द राइज ऑफ भारत एंड द बीजेपी. बीजेपी से उसको खुंदक है बिकॉज बीजेपी उसको घास नहीं डालती और जूते मार के उनके जो बंदे हैं उनको साइडलाइन कर दिया है. जिसको हम अर्बन नक्सल्स भी बोला करते थे. आजकल यू डोंट हियर दोस अर्बन नक्सल्स कमिंग आउट. सम ऑफ देम आर स्टेइंग आउट.
दे आर इन देयर होल्स नाउ.
अभी जैसे अरुंधति रॉय है.
Oh yes.
हम सारे No, no, but her actual name is not Arundhati Roy. Her name is Susanna Roy. Full
Susanna.
name is Susanna Dati Roy. अपने कॉम को छुपाने के लिए एंड टू शो दैट आई एम अ हिंदू शी वुड से शी इज अरुंधति रॉय.
Okay.
Arundhati is the middle name. Have you ever called anyone by the middle name?
Never.
Her given name is Susanna.
Okay. Okay.
Her registered
This
birth name is Susanna. Arundhati comes from her mother
this should be a news for
and
everybody.
Roy.
Yeah.
So she is Susanna Roy, but she goes all over the place chanting Arundhati Roy. तो यहाँ नहीं तो वहाँ.
Right.
हमने अपने पप्पू को भी देख लिया वहाँ जाके क्या क्या बोलता
Because
है.
I have seen her celebrating whenever there has been a terrorist attack in Kashmir or wherever
Yes.
whenever the Naxalites have blown up a police vehicle,
Yes.
killing cops in India. She has always been celebrating. Yeah.
So now you don't hear them.
Yeah.
Next is within Asia, the collapsing hold on South Asia.
Perfect.
पाकिस्तान तो इज डाउन इन द डम्प्स. उसके सीपेक जिसके ऊपर ढिंडोरा पीट रहे थे, दी प्राइम एग्जाम्पल, वो तो बस कूड़ा हो गया उसका. इट्स इन अ डस्टबिन टुडे. ही डजंट नो व्हाट टू डू.
Right.
Bangladesh hold is not there. Nepal, the hold is slipping. Myanmar, the area from where he could trouble India, is falling. He doesn't know what to do. He's trying to talk to the army. The army अब क्या दे सकता है पता नहीं. Sri Lanka is, we have to wait and watch how the elections go. And Maldives is a question mark. Will he be able to do all those 22 things that he has said?
Right.
पैसे कहाँ हैं? चाइना के पास पैसे नहीं है. And then you find on the other side the amount of bases that have come up in Philippines. So announcing and signing of bases is one thing. To activate the bases, you need logistic support. The whole lot of logistic support has moved out from Guam and Hawaii, and it has been brought in Philippines into these bases, including oil. Almost about 20-30,000 kiloliters of oil fuel has been brought in. Now that is a sign of fear for him. कि यार, with these bases, then he has an issue with Taiwan. Taiwan elections में उसने ही कहा दिया था कि KMT जीते. Threatening, economic coercion, exercises, telling them it will do this. और the young voters ने अपना मतलब आप बोल दो कि ठेंगा दिखा दिया उसको कि भाई तू करता रहे. Voted for.
Right.
The DPP has come to power. He tried in between to play a game. नया आया है Taiwanese political party, उसको KMT के साथ जोड़ दे तो वोट मिल जाएंगे. It broke apart. It was but natural because KMT has had pro-China leanings, and this is the first time that the KMT nominee for the president, Guo, is the person who was born in Taiwan and not born in mainland.
Right.
So the people who are born here, they are very anti the People's Republic of China. And today the voices from Taiwan going out towards the youth in China is, if we are also Han, you are also Han. If we can be democratic, why are you not democratic? You want to learn from us, we'll teach you how to become democratic. Once you become democratic, we have no issue, we can join together.
Right.
So the message is, we are nothing against people of mainland China, but we are against PRC.
Okay.
So that is the cause for worry for Xi, because the youth in China are very angry with him. They were too initial in his towards the end of second term. The people already, his economy was going down. So there was a term of what the youth was doing. It was called tangping. Tangping means lying down. कोई काम नहीं.
Rajiv, one small query. Does she thinks that he's still living in the era of the Tiananmen Square genocide?
Yeah, he wants to be even worse than Mao.
Okay, worse than Mao.
He thinks Mao is nothing. I'm greater than Mao.
Okay, I was trying to
So we
compare
know the
him with
mentality of
Tiananmen
Mao.
Square. Okay.
Tiananmen तो छोटा उसके लिए है. बहुत कंट्रोल कर रखा है.
Okay.
If we have time, I'll share an anecdote
time wise, Rajiv, time wise, we can shift to or focus now to West Asia. Let's.
Yeah. Then now I'll shift to our neighboring extended neighborhood, I call it.
Okay.
And in the extended neighborhood, first, which comes is West Asia. China finds it a problem,
Yes.
and the US also will be having a concern that you have very good relations with Saudi Arabia, UAE, Oman, Bahrain, and see the subtle manner in which you have put pressure on Qatar
That's
with those
something very
naval people.
interesting. Yes.
The subtle pressures that you have put.
Yes.
See, Qatar has is a very funny, that way,
Yes.
even UAE is a very funny country
Yes.
where the
And
expats are quite large.
yes.
But in Qatar, it goes across all realms of people who have not studied
Yes.
Qatar.
Yes.
The actual Qataris are just about 15%
I see.
of the total population existing in Qatar.
Uh
Rest
huh.
are all expats. Indians form 25% of the expats.
Okay.
You had to make only speak to two people, and they called for 1 lakh laborers each, and the government said, okay, we'll do it.
Okay.
Israel and Taiwan.
Okay.
And Qatar didn't know what to do because you have proper trained and semi-trained labor who are there,
Right.
who run their economy, which is totally dependent on gas.
Right.
Our people move out, his economy sinks. हमारे बल्क ऑफ आर एक्सपैट्स आर नॉट धोबी मोची आए घर पे मेड, ये नहीं है वहां पे.
Right.
So he understands that language only. Okay.
Right.
And so he removed that and then said, okay, you death sentence nikal diya. Bola
Yes. Yes. Yes.
उनको वेरियस स्टेजेस ऑफ प्रिजन
Yes.
टर्म्स दिए. अब ये भी बोल दिया है कि 90 दिन के अंदर आप उस प्रिजन टर्म के अंदर भी you can go to court against those.
Right.
So he realizes that in this region,
Which was unthinkable earlier, but for
yeah,
India's stand. But for India's stand,
yes, it is
unthinkable.
because what you have achieved over this period of 8, 9 years that you have become so strong
Right.
that everybody in the country, in the globe, looks up towards you. That what are you telling? And the
Absolutely.
classic example where your reputation went sky high was the manner in which you handled the G20.
Exactly. Yeah.
You made out the charter, you called the global south, I am your
Yes.
voice. They were
Yes.
there, G20 were there. Each and every aspect was thrashed out, everything done, discussed. One of the first meetings on education, I had the opportunity to attend. It was here only in Mahabalipuram. Couple of people whom I knew, they had called me, I had gone there and attended. You had people from virtually the global south was there, and the G20 people were there, and total discussion was going on how to improve the education globally.
General, here I would like to put just make a mention of this. The main opposition, Congress, that has been trying to belittle what has been achieved in this summit by saying, well, India had the chairmanship, so what's great about it? This was a common comment by
This
how would you
shows
react to
that
that? How would you
if
react to
it
that?
was, see, if they were there, they would have done the same thing what was earlier done in various countries. This was an eye opener to show that if you become the leader and if you have to do something, it was not only that the first day, even before everything started, everybody signed the agreement. The joint
Absolutely. Yeah.
declaration was clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And not only after that, then everybody agreed that every 3 months they will have a virtual meeting to see the progress on these points, which is going on.
Yes. Yes.
And Brazil has promised that no, we will take it forward. South Africa has also said we will take it forward.
Right.
And I'm looking that in when they have the next G20, Latin America will also be made to join as a group. But first they need to make a group. But
Right.
these were examples to show the way to the people कि ऐसा भी हो सकता है.
Right. Right.
Lateral thinking out of the box. People didn't
Right.
realize.
Right.
And that is what is IMEC, which these people again try to belittle. IMEC
Yes.
is not just connectivity or taking a route through Middle East to Europe. No. It
Yes.
is for the economic development of your Middle East, so that they can be taken away from being only an oil dependent economy.
Right. So what do you say about
That is what
the
IMEC is all about.
so what do you say about the allegation that there was the attempt to sabotage this was
ओ नो,
the
ये
terrorist
तो
attack
दो
by
साल
the
पहले से, ना गाजा लड़ाई तो 2 साल पहले से इनकी चल रही थी. चाइना इज द मेन इंस्टिगेटर.
right,
They wanted to do down USA and indicate to the Middle East that I will be the adjudicator in the Middle East.
right,
And it was supposed to be a three-front attack on Israel. That's how Gaza, Lebanon was also, Hezbollah was also armed. And इनका जो कुद्स ब्रिगेड था डिवीजन, that was based in Syria, and that was to launch
ठीक.
three-sided attack. But then they didn't realize that Hamas is like ISIS. And the moment they went and did what they did on October 7th, we all know, वो हिजबुल्ला ने तो हाथ पीछे खींच लिए कि हम तो ऐसों के साथ होंगे ही नहीं, थोड़े बहुत रॉकेट फायर कर देते हैं. Then suddenly Iran found that they were all alone, that they didn't expect Hamas to do that. Because
Right,
Hezbollah doesn't do that.
right,
They didn't expect Hamas will do this. So the whole planning, they were tunnels were made by the Chinese engineers. They have been caught by the Israelis. Israelis are fuming at them. Couple of Israelis whom I know, whom I spoke to,
okay,
they were saying they have stabbed us in the back. And I told them, I started talking to them against the Chinese in 2018. I had been to Israel, I had spoken there. I told them, be careful, they're not dependable. मान नहीं रहे थे. तो अभी उनसे बात करते हुए मैंने बोला, हाँ हाँ, 2018 में मैं बोल रहा था तेरे को ये ऐसे करेंगे, तब तो मान नहीं रहा था. अब जब छुरा भोंक दिया तब मान रहे हो. फायदा क्या है? I said an intelligent man learns from others' experience. It's a foolish who learns from your own experience.
yeah,
ASEAN में भी उसका थोड़ा मतलब people have started questioning, and he's getting worried in the sense Philippines is going to get our BrahMos missile this year.
okay, okay,
And this year, most likely, our agreement will be signed with Vietnam, and they will also get. Now, his biggest concern is West carries the narrative that Russia is with China. And BrahMos is a joint Russian-Indian arrangement.
right,
And India can't sell it without clearance from Russia.
right,
So Russia with China is just a transactional
right, right,
arrangement. It's
right,
not a deep friendship. So
right,
that is his concern, because the Americans are there and BrahMos is there.
right,
Vietnam is wanting that. Uh, Indonesia has given you the Sabang port, which is at the mouth of the Malacca Straits.
that
Right.
that
So,
counters China a great deal. Yeah,
yeah, how does he come in? आज के तारीख में भी, in fact, we have a fusion center, in the sense maritime situational awareness center.
I
We
see.
call it a fusion center. It is based in Gurgaon.
Oh, I see.
You have people from complete Indo-Pacific fraternity who have sent LOs and who are there. Minute to minute, any ship going around within the Indian Ocean,
Right,
every ship is tracked. And if an IFF is not there, you know which is the black ship.
I see.
Exactly, पूरा tracking होता है.
Right,
Its effectiveness, you can make out that 2 ships they tried to hijack, जिसमें अपने बंदे थे. We have done it on our
yeah,
own.
yeah,
We didn't need anybody's help. We are not part of that alliance, 10-country alliance with the Americans have formed for this.
and what about the Houthis attacking
वही
the
हूती का ही बता रहा हूँ मैं. हूती का ही बता रहा हूँ.
yeah,
वो हूती तो इतने डरे हुए हैं, जैसे ही वो रॉकेट हिट हुआ था, वो तो माफी मांगने शुरू कर दिए थी, हमने नहीं मारा, हमने नहीं मारा, माफ कर दो. Because the tracking is very perfect. And the moment the second moment our Marcos reached there and they made an announcement through their mics that we are coming,
yeah, they fled,
the,
they fled,
they just fled.
they fled,
They just
yeah,
fled.
yeah,
They just ran away. right?
Right.
So South Pacific is a place where I feel the next pressure will come from China, and we got to be careful because Australia and New Zealand have been using them.
Yes. Yes.
They have been
And
using them. They have not
their
given
economy is
them.
also largely dependent on China. I've watched Australian economy.
See, Aus- correct. Australia का problem ये है. Australia is again a resource
Yes.
dependent economy,
Yes.
and bulk of their iron ore goes to China.
And
अभी डाइवर्स कर रहे हैं,
and it's
देखते हैं क्या होता है.
and at amazing
But the
level
problem,
at amazing level the Chinese capitalists, they are investing in Australian property, real estate at
they are
amazing level.
taking money out क्योंकि डरे हुए हैं ना, चाइना में पैसे नहीं हैं.
Yeah.
By the way, their NPAs and LGFVs, local government financial vehicles बोलते हैं उनको, which is
Right.
nothing but local vehicle, the provincial governments are allowed to issue bonds,
Right.
and people buy the bond, and that's how they get money.
Right.
The NPAs are almost two-thirds of their stated uh, GDP.
Right.
It's touching $10 trillion.
Right.
It's touching $10 trillion, and it's a major concern for them.
Right.
So South Pacific, I take with Australia and New Zealand, they have been controlling the economy of the South Pacific Islands and dominating they had economic colonization. So when they were taking money from China and they were told that China is going to do this,
Right.
so they bluntly told the Americans, तो Australians भी वही करते हैं.
Right.
What is the difference? So India is
Right.
starting slowly now. They've gone into Fiji and other places.
Right.
See the concern, Nauru has, halanki Nauru is a very small island, just have about 12,000 is the population. But they have de-recognized Taiwan and they are recognizing China. So South Pacific,
Right.
the reason why China wants to go into South
Right.
Pacific, it, they go behind Guam.
Yeah.
Guam, which
Rajiv.
is the American base, the moment they have their bases in the South Pacific Islands, they turn the flank of Guam.
Okay.
Guam today is only looking north and west towards the East Asia. Now he'll have to look down south towards South Pacific Islands also.
Rajiv, we are running short of time, and we have a couple of minutes left. I would like you to do a roundup because I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
If we
So there is a
if we round up basic,
geopolitical.
yeah,
Yeah, I will just touch on the geopolitical triangle that has come up.
right,
So the triangle is now the old state which was there in USA.
right,
There you can say the people related to them who are working for them. So
right.
there is a deep state. इसका अलग से मैंने वीडियो किया हुआ है,
Okay,
which controls a lot of finances.
okay,
And BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, these are some of the very big hedge funds, and their valuation of the money invested
right,
works out to 550 trillion plus dollars,
right,
while the global GDP of the world is only $100 trillion,
right,
right? And they were utilizing China, and that is why the leftists and Islamists and all were for them, because they were investing money in these areas. Now the shift is coming into India. So the leftist Islamists and others are not required.
right.
So the people in US who were working for them were Obama and his gang, Hillary Clinton,
Yeah, yeah.
Blinken, Victoria Nuland.
I would
Now
say that
suddenly they find that
I would say they were working
they find that
diligently. Yeah,
yes, but now suddenly they find that they have no space.
yes,
So you have US, you have Bharat, Anglo-Saxons
yes,
who are there, who are now taking a big hit as far as economy is concerned.
right,
The other side, you had one side China, whose economy is down in the dumps. You have Russia, who's fighting his own war. How much his economy, quite a lot of his economy would have got scarred. And then in the flank, working with China, You had Turkey, Qatar, Iran, and the terrorists, in
And the
which I link
terrorists.
Pakistan.
Yeah.
Okay, who were working with them and who are still working with them. But the rest of West Asia is not on the same page with them.
Okay.
Even certain North African states are not on the same page with them.
Right.
Now, this is the flux that is churning that is taking place,
Right.
and you find that the leaning of the US is coming towards Bharat. And that is why the agreements that they have done for the Indo Pacific, they are looking at India becoming the victualling hub for all forces operating in the Indo Pacific.
Okay.
तो वो एग्रीमेंट कर रहे हैं. तो
Okay.
व्हाट इज द वे हेड फॉर अस? वाइल हम बोलते हैं ये है, हमने अपना नैरेटिव बनाना शुरू करना है. दैट आई फाइंड इन दिस करंट गवर्नमेंट इज लैकिंग.
So how can you spell out for public consumption what's lacking?
नैरेटिव मतलब हम कौन हैं, हम क्या हैं,
Yes.
हम क्या कर रहे हैं,
थोड़ा
उसी
कंफ्यूजन है.
एक
थोड़ा
फैक्ट को
कंफ्यूजन है. उस कंफ्यूजन
हाँ
को
हम
दूर.
बताते नहीं हैं.
हाँ हाँ.
हम बताते नहीं है तो वो नेगेटिव लाके हमको बोलते हैं आप कचरा हो.
Yes. Yes. तो
राइट, हमको बताना होता है,
it's
बताना
time
चाहिए
for
कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं.
it's time to be assertive. हमें assert करना पड़ेगा.
यस यस.
और बताना पड़ेगा. हाँ. तो as we come to round up this discussion, we have had a great discussion. I think our listeners will be richer in thought, richer in analysis by what General Rajiv has shared with us. तो मैं जनरल राजीव से एक बार फिर ये पूछना चाहूँगा कि इसको अगर हम सम अप करें, और इंडिया जो है ये एक पार्लियामेंट्री डेमोक्रेसी है और चुनाव होते हैं और गवर्नमेंट्स बनती हैं जो देश को रन करती हैं गवर्नमेंट्स, और अगले साल चुनाव हो रहे हैं. तो चुनाव में एक लेखा जोखा आता है पूरा. यू हैव टू अकाउंट फॉर व्हाट यू हैव डन. तो एक तो पोजीशनिंग, भारत की एक पोजीशन स्थापित हो गई है ग्लोबल स्टेज पे, और इसको देखते हुए राजीव, वन लास्ट वर्ड, 2024 and beyond, how do you look? 2024 and beyond, how do you look?
3 points all only I will say. अभी 2024 इलेक्शन आ रहा है. वोट वाइजली.
Right.
वोट वाइजली.
Vote wisely.
जो आप सोचते हो भारत के लिए काम करेगा, हमारे लिए काम करेगा, उसी को वोट दें.
तो राजीव, इसको मैं रिपीट करूंगा सो दैट इट इकोज. जनरल राजीव जो एक वेटरन आर्मी मैन है, इनका कहना है अब जो चुनाव आ रहा है इसमें वोट वाइजली, सोच समझ के अपना वोट डालिए, क्योंकि आपके वोट से फैसला होगा कि भारत का विश्व स्टेज पे क्या पोजीशन है आज, और आगे हम क्या चाहते हैं. जिस दिशा में हम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं उसमें हम आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं. तो जनरल राजीव का ये मैसेज है, राजीव नारायणन का, कि वोट वाइजली, सोच समझ के अगले चुनाव में अपना वोट डालिए. थैंक यू. नमस्कार.